Okay, so I just got done filming this video and I realized that I forgot to say at the beginning, I 100% still support Sephora. It's JCPenney that I do not support. But Sephora is still my favorite makeup store. I will still shop there. I still very much respect it as a company. I would work at a freestanding Sephora. I have nothing at all against Sephora in any way. I really do love the company. It's very education driven. It is a wonderful company. I think it's amazing. So personally, I have nothing against Sephora, and I want to make that known in this video. Nothing against them. Yeah, I don't mean to slander anybody in this video. I'm just talking about what happened on my side of the story, and because people always ask about it, I figure I'll let y'all know because I am still really salty about it, and I was very much betrayed in my situation, and I didn't appreciate them harassing me about the things that I was not stable in my life. So anyways, that's it. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and whatever, let's get into the video. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be why I got fired from Sephora. Oh, I'm excited. I wanted to make this video like when it happened, but I was so pissed that I feel like I wouldn't have been able to properly gather my thoughts. I was gonna do it several months ago, but I hadn't been doing my YouTube channel, and now that I'm getting back at it and whatever, and the doggies are being loud. I have them in their kennel because I don't want them to run around because I have to watch them. And yeah, so they're right here next to me, but they're in their kennels and I feel bad. But just while I record. But I really wanted to properly control my thoughts and whatever, and to be honest, I am still really upset about it. I mean, I've let it go for the most part, but there's something about people that you trusted betraying you and your passion being fucked with that just doesn't settle right. That's something that I won't get over. I am over losing that job. I'm overworking there. I am happy at my job. I feel so good. I really love what I do. I love where I am at my life right now. And I love where my life is going. So I'm not upset about not working at Sephora. What I'm upset about is how it happened, why it happened, and just the fact that these people that I trusted did that to me. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm going to tell you guys this little story of how it all happened. So first of all, when I was employed at Sephora, I was actually working at a coffee shop, and it was in the same little shopping complex type deal as the Sephora. It was a Sephora inside JCPenney. I had been going there for over a year, maybe even 2 years. I'm not exactly sure, but I was a regular customer there to the point that other customers thought that I worked there. Because I would go in with every paycheck, after paying bills, of course, spend my hard-earned money there. Thousands of dollars I had spent there, like way too much money at that Sephora. I wouldn't even go to other Sephoras unless it was, you know, because it was a Sephora inside JCPenney. They didn't carry all of the items that other Sephoras did, but I would only go to this Sephora because I loved the people there. And they seemed to really like me, and like they said, when you're 18 you can get a job and whatever, like they would really talk it up. So a few weeks before my 18th birthday, I hadn't been in there in a while because I hadn't had that much money, you know, other priorities, but one of the girls who worked at Sephora came through the drive-thru at my work, and she was like, hey, go to Sephora, the managers want to talk to you and whatever. I was like, okay. So after I got off, I went to Sephora. It was literally a minute or two walk from the place that I was working then. I was like that close. And I walked in and they were like, we're hiring and we want you to apply. Like they were talking me up. They said, the job is yours, you just have to apply and whatever. You do have to go through the standard protocol of an interview and all sorts of things like that and the training and whatever, you know. And I was like, cool, whatever, that sounds great. So I did apply and whatever, got hired like I expected, and everything was really fine. Like I loved that job. I was so good at that job. And it was, again, with people that I loved, that I had respected, that I've been seeing every couple weeks for literally years at this point. And even when I worked there, I still spent a lot of my money, and I was still juggling that other job as well. I was still working at the coffee shop for most of my employment there. And I really did love that job. And Towards the beginning of my employment there, my mom lost her job. And so I asked them for extra hours, and I kept this other job that I was wanting to quit. I did eventually quit a couple months later, but I was really just working because I just wanted to help. It's not that I needed to support my mother. I don't need to do that. She was fine, but I wanted to help out. I wanted to be able to pay for gas or groceries or whatever. You know what I mean? Just help out, because that's what you do when you're a fucking decent human being. Like, they were fine. They were like, yeah, sure, like, let's give you as many extra hours as we can. Would you switch shifts with this so that we can give you a full day here? You know, whatever. And they were really, really working with me. It was great. But one day, I was on shift. I had worked pretty much my entire shift, and I was called down to the office. I went to the office. I had done nothing wrong. Let me just say, I was not worried about anything. I was not nervous. I did not feel uncomfortable. There was nothing, the last thing I expected was to get fired that day. The last thing. It was a Friday. That's kind of important for later. And I sat down with loss prevention of another store, because apparently they don't have loss prevention at that location. And she was just like really kind of weird, but again, I didn't think I was gonna get fired, so I wasn't uncomfortable or anything at first. Where I was like she was like, hi, how are you? Like, way too friendly, and I was just kind of talking, whatever. She asks me about myself, and I tell her, I just barely left a job at a cafe, and I'm hoping to be full-time here. You said I love makeup, I love to empower people, that's my passion, and whatever. And she was really nice, and she was like, oh, that's so awesome, you know what I mean? And she had already known beforehand that my mom didn't have a job, and that was her motivation for this whole thing. But she said, I am so-and-so, what should we call her? We'll just call her Lauren for whatever reason. I don't know why, that's the first thing that came to mind. Her name is not Lauren. Lauren says to me, let me tell you a little bit about me. She's like, I am loss prevention from this location. What my job is preventing theft and fraud at every location and whatever. And I was like, oh, right on, that's awesome. And what I was thinking at this point is that something happened in the store, and they were just kind of asking employees about it to see if they knew anything about it. Like, I thought maybe there was like a huge break-in or something crazy happened, and they were asking people if they knew anything. Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, literally the last thing I expected was to get fired, let me tell you. But she was just talking to me, and she's like, my job is so detailed, to the point that I put teeny tiny little cameras in every register, and so that I can see what associates are doing and whatever. And I was like, oh, fucking great. I don't believe that, and I still don't, and let me tell you why. First of all, they don't have the budget for that. You're not the CIA, you work in retail. You don't have the budget to put a fucking invisible camera in a dinosaur register. This register is so old, it could be in a fucking history museum. It is so janky and old and slow. Like, you don't expect me to believe that you put some advanced technology in this computer to catch me stealing something. I don't think so. Not only that, but we don't have loss prevention. So even if she did that, she would have done it at her store, not at mine. So, whatever. She goes, so I've seen everything. And she goes, with my job, that's how she talks. She's really like hoity-toity. She's like, with my job, I know the who, the what, the when, the where, and the how, but I do not know why. And that's my job, is to figure out why. Now, let me stop right there and tell you why I think that is fucking stupid. If you do something so wrong and illegal, they don't give a shit why you did it. They will fire you. They don't care. They will press charges. They will do this, whatever procedures they need to take, they will take it. They don't give a shit why. They're not gonna hear your sob story of, well, my mom lost her job and I just really needed this fucking foundation or whatever. Like, they're not gonna ask you why. When they're asking you why, it's because they want you to admit that it happened, and so that they don't have to have proof and they can just take the proper procedures, whether it's pressing charges, termination, whatever. And, at this point I was like, a little bit more defensive because I was like, what's she getting at, you know? Still a little more comfortable because I still had not done anything wrong. And let me pause. I cannot prove in any way that I did not do these things, and that's what sucks, and that's another reason why I wasn't so urgent to film this video, because I can't prove that I didn't do any of these things. However, they also could not prove that I did do those things. The only way that I can tell you that I can prove is with receipts that I have, but I'm not going to show you because it has personal information on it, and with the fact that I never went to jail. I can pass a background check. I have a job now. Like, none of these things are on my record. I did not do any of these things. If I had done these things, I would have been in legal trouble, and I'm not. So, but again, it's my word against theirs, so you can choose to believe whatever the fuck you want, but that's one thing that I was hesitant about filming this video for. Anyways, getting back on track, she talks to me and she's like, you know, people have different reasons for committing theft. And I was like, yeah, still thinking someone fucking broke in and stole a bunch of shit. I don't know. And she's like flipping through her papers all dramatically and goes, you know, whether it's they just want to defy somebody, they just wanted the adrenaline, they want this. She goes through a whole list of reasons, and then she like looks at me straight in the eyes and like, or financial troubles at home. And like she said it in like that way that was like, I fucking know what happened. And I was like, oh yeah, that sounds like a reason, I guess. And then she's like, so tell me more about you and whatever. And I was like, at this point, I knew what she was getting at, so I didn't even bother. Like, it didn't seem, and I still would have said it in the moment. Like, if I had to redo that, I still would have said it because she knew, and I knew that she knew. I was like, she was like, how's your family? Tell me about your family. Like, things like that, trying to get way too personal and friendly. And she's just like, you know, we're really just trying to help you here. Like, you're not in trouble at all. You're not in trouble. We just really want to help you. We want you to be the best employee that you can be and whatever. Trying to get on my good side, make her feel like she's an ally to me and whatever. So, and I don't fucking I'm not a fucking moron. This lady thought that I was the most inept human being she had ever met in her life. And I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that works on, but like, it does not work on me. And I was like, yeah, my mom just lost her job, and I know that you fucking know that. I didn't tell her that, but I did say, yeah, my mom recently lost her job, you know, whatever. I was still really nice. I wasn't being a bitch, but I was pretty defensive, and like I said, she did already know, and I knew that she knew at this point, so I was like, yeah, my mom lost her job. Can we further the point? Because at this point, like I said, I was in the office a half hour before close, like after my entire shift, and it was past my shift ending right now. And I was there really late, and I was not about that. It was a weekend, I wanted to go home, whatever. And she was really just, she was a bitch. She's like, I know that you stole. She's like, so that's your motivation. And she flips through, she has this entire fucking Excel spreadsheet that has all of these fucking amounts of money that have been going on since I started here. Like, that's apparently, like, that's apparently what she has. I didn't steal any of this, but she came up with this chart that has all of these totals on it, and the dates that they went missing, and when she saw me steal it, and whatever. And I never stole any of this, but another side note, if this was happening since I started a few months ago, why in the hell would they just be now talking about it? If it was, because it was big amounts of money. I mean, some of it was like $10, $5, whatever, but some of it was hundreds of dollars. Some of it was product. Like, there was a huge list of shit that I apparently had been seen stealing from their store. And if it had been going on for that long, why would you let it go on that long if you blatantly have all of the facts and know that I stole these things? I was not about that. And I was like, I didn't know what that paper was, and she's like reading with her finger, like accusing me of stealing, just being like, yeah, I know that you did it. I mean, look at all of this. And then she's like, $10 on this day. What was that for you? Gas money? I'm like, bitch, what? Like, first of all, think of it from her point of view. She knows she doesn't have any evidence on me. So she's just accusing me and insulting me and insulting my integrity and harassing me with no evidence. She's trying to get me to admit it. She's trying to guilt me into it. And she goes so back and forth. Like she goes, she goes back to, we're really trying to help you. You won't get in trouble. It's fine. You can tell me. We're friends. Like, trying that whole thing. And then she gets into I know that you stole it. So when was the first time that you stole from the store? And like, she just kept saying shit like that. And this went on for like an hour. Then she gets into, have you ever paid with a fraudulent credit card? I never even had a credit card, which I guess it doesn't matter if it's a fraudulent card, but I, like, that blows my mind. Like, you have all of these hidden cameras, and obviously they have the already store cameras, which I later found out were not even on in the store. They just had them, like, the monitors on, so people would walk by and see themselves and be like, oh shit, I shouldn't steal. But I later found out that they were not even on. But anyways, with all these cameras, you can't fucking see that I didn't fucking pay with a fraudulent card. These are really, really serious accusations. She is accusing me of hundreds of dollars of theft, giving out free product, that's something that she accused me of later, fraud. She is accusing me of this entire fucking list of bullshit that like some people go to fucking prison for. Like she's accusing me of a big fucking epidemic, like that I have this huge master fucking plan to ruin the store. That's what she's accusing me of. And that's bullshit. Like, if it would have seemed less suspicious, I mean, obviously not to me, because I don't fucking, like, I know that I didn't do anything, but to them, she has this fucking list of all this shit that she's accusing me of, and it goes on. There was a bunch of little tiny shit, too, like, did you ever give too much in a sample, or like this, because that counts as theft, and like, just this entire fucking list of dumb shit. And I was not having that. I was so mad, but anyways, I'm screaming. Whatever. Anyways, I was like, no. Like, and at this point, I wasn't even trying to be nice anymore, because I was like, fuck it, if I don't care, this lady's a fucking psycho bitch, I hate her. I was pissed at this point. Like, now I laugh at her. I laugh at Lauren. I really do. But in the moment, I was pissed. Because I mean, who wants to be accused of that? I mean, people don't like being accused of that when they did do it, let alone when they didn't. And I was fucking livid. So I was just like, yeah, no, never did that. And she's like, like I told you before, I know the who, the what, the when, the where, and the how, but I don't know the why. She's like, so why, Quinn? Why did you do that? I was like, listen, Lauren, I don't fucking give a shit what you think you saw or didn't see on your cameras that either don't exist or are not on, but you're making some serious accusations here. Like, accusations that could get me in a lot of legal trouble for something that I didn't do. And then she goes, I have recordings of you pocketing product and walking out of the store with it. And I was like, can I see it? And she's like, no. So she wouldn't even let me see this. They are required to show you the footage, not in all places, but most of them. I don't know what the policy was there. Didn't stay long enough to find out, but I was just like, I was pissed, and I was just sick of it. I wanted to get out of there. I had been in there for way too long. And then she goes into, you know, it's against JCPenney's store policy to ring yourself out. And I'm like, I didn't ring myself out. Like, what are you fucking talking about now? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? She tells me, I have a stack of receipts of yours here. And she had photocopied all of my receipts. I don't know how she has those, apparently, I don't know. Whatever, doesn't bother me how she got them, but it was a stack this thick of my receipts. And she said, you sure ring yourself out a lot, don't you? And I'm like, no, because these weren't all of my receipts since shopping there, since working there, period. She said that all of those were me ringing myself out. Listen, I have all of those receipts. I have every receipt since I worked there, and I'm not going to pull them out because, again, they have personal information on them that give away the location and, like, numbers that I don't want to share. But these receipts only one of them has my employee number on it, and I never rang myself out. So what I personally think happened, I obviously can't say for sure because I don't remember when this was because I didn't ring myself out, but what I think must have happened is whoever I was working with that day, I had typed in my numbers, and like when someone was going to buy something and they ended up not buying it, something like that, to where it was open in my, like with my employee numbers, and the other person didn't seem to realize, so they rang me out, and now it's on my receipt that I rang myself out. But if she looked at the cameras that she fucking covets so much, that she gets all of her fucking hard evidence off of, she gets all of her fucking proof off of, she would see that I never fucking touch the register when someone is ringing me out. But they're not running, and she doesn't actually have these cameras. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place in this video. I'm still really salty about it. Listen, what that says to me, as like if I were an outsider on the situation, having that many receipts says that you don't worry about money as much as they think you do. They think that I am scrounging for change, that I'm stealing money to pay for gas in the car, like really fucking insulting things that she's already said to me. She thinks that I can't like afford this makeup that I'm paying for when I'm already paying my bills that I need to pay or helping out the way that I need to, but I have extra money that I would like to spend on makeup because that's what I like to spend my money on. And to have this whole stack of receipts says that I pay for a lot of shit, that I spend a lot of money at that store. That's what that says to me. Apparently, that's a reason to think you ring yourself out a lot, which again, they either made me take their word for it or whatever, but only one of my receipts has my numbers on it. And that had to be a misunderstanding. And even if I did ring myself out, that's like maybe a write-up at most, not termination. Then she goes into, have you ever given away free product? You know, store product, not samples or, you know, prizes or whatever, gift with purchase, like that you shouldn't have been given out? Have you just handed out free handouts or whatever? I was like, nope, haven't done that either. And she's like, oh, really? Sorry, dogs are being antsy. I feel so bad. She goes, oh, really? Because I was told that you went through the drawer, because there was a drawer that had, like, it had samples, like, that the warehouse, I guess, sends us, and that you could, like, show a coupon on your phone, and, like, they'd scan the barcode, you'd get a sample of the Makeup Forever HD foundation or whatever. And then they had gift with purchases for events, like the Smashbox, Makeup Forever, gifts gifts with purchase like that, and whatever. And, you know, they were all mixed together. They were not separated in the drawer, and no one told me that. So I had given those products that were still sample products, they just weren't scanned through the machine, because I didn't know that they had to be. But she was like, your manager told me about a time that you just gave away a bunch of product from the drawer and whatever. And I was like, yeah, I did that. No one told me about, like, why that was an accident or whatever. Like, that's the worst thing that I have done in employment anywhere, like, is accidentally giving away something that's already free, just not scanning it through the system because nobody told me that I had to, because it's not separated in any way, shape, or form in that drawer. And I was brand new. How the fuck was I supposed to know? But whatever, I'll take the fall for that, I guess. But she just kept asking me just a bunch of really fucking dumb questions. And I was like, can I go? Like, are you done insulting me? Like, I'd really like to get out of here. I knew that my job was fucking, like, I knew that my job was done. And she goes, no, you're not allowed to leave. And it was like 10 p.m. We closed at 9. I was just not, like, I was so fucking over it. And I was like, are you fucking serious? Let me fucking go. And she has me write a statement saying that I did not commit fraud, I did not commit theft, I didn't commit any of the things that she was accusing me of. Then she asks me about other people's fraud. So she was asking me, have you ever rang someone out who committed credit card fraud? I was like, I don't fucking know. Like, fucking, and she's like, because that's a serious offense. Like, why is it my problem if someone else commits credit card fraud? Lauren, fucking whatever, Lauren. We'll fucking move on from that. But anyways, I wrote a statement saying that I had not committed fraud. I had not rang someone out knowing they were committing credit card fraud. I had never stolen product, stolen money, anything from the registers or whatever. I have not given away free product aside from that one little miscommunication. I had never rang myself out. I wrote this whole long thing, signed it, whatever, and she grabs it and like flicks it in front of her face, and she's like reading it, and she's like reading it out loud as if I don't already know what I wrote, and she's like laughing to herself. She's like, because you had to write it in a certain format that said, I, Quinn, hereby say that I, like, to Lauren, whatever, that I didn't do this and this and this. And she's like reading it out loud, and she's like, I, Quinn, didn't do this, and she's like laughing to herself. She's like, like, you didn't commit fraud, like laughing to herself. And I was like, you have humiliated me enough today. You have fucked with my career enough today, Lauren. So we're just gonna move on from that. And her fucking stupid little scribe in the corner, I'm still mad. She had a little dickhead fucking writing down every word that we were saying in the corner, like a fucking, like, he was like her fucking personal scribe. And he was like giggling as I was bawling because she had told me, like, she was like, look, I'll bring this to management. And I was pissed off, so I was like crying, and he was like laughing to himself. My manager comes in and she's like, they've decided to terminate you. Where's your name tag? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I did say that because at that point I had blown up because I was like, I didn't do any of this shit, and they won't accept that I didn't because they were asking me over and over, did you do this? When did you do it? When was the first time? But then they would go back and forth between, why did you do it? Like, we're friends. Like, I want to be your friend. I want to help you, whatever. And I was like, I appreciate that, but I didn't fucking do it. And because I wouldn't admit it, she kept me in there for hours trying to get me to admit it. And my manager comes in and she's like, they decided to terminate you. Where's your name tag? I threw it on the counter and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And she's like, nope, walks out. Her and all of the other managers had blocked me on Facebook. We had like a Facebook page that we ran to talk about events and whatever. And like if we were doing with our beauty educator, if she came in, like just dates for that and just whatever. And I was pissed because like they all had blocked me on everything immediately. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like I am not, like I was pissed. I was like fucking sitting there just really upset, and then the fucking Lauren comes back in and she's like, so, yeah, I guess you heard. And I was like, yeah, I fucking did, Lauren. And I'm like bawling because I just lost my job. I've never been fired before, you know, like I had just quit my last job to be full-time here, and I was gonna help my mother out. I mean, obviously, like I said, I did have some play money already, like I was fine, but now I couldn't help her out at all. I'm bawling because I couldn't fucking, like, I got fired from a job with people that I loved and respected, who seemed to respect me, who asked me to apply there, and all sorts of shit, you know, like I was bawling. That's my career, that's my passion that you fucked with. That's not okay. And I was just mad, and she's like, I was like, can I fucking go now? Like, I was just not being nice. I was like, can I fucking leave? And she's like, nope, not till every other employee's out of the store. So she wants me, she's already kept me in here long enough for past my shift. She would not let me leave, and I was like, fuck that. I was like, I'm leaving. If you're gonna terminate me, you can't force me to be here. I'm not even scheduled to this time. I'm not working here anymore. Technically, shouldn't any fucking customer have to leave the store after close? Like, what do you mean I have to wait till every other employee's out of the store? What the fuck do you fucking mean, Lauren? That doesn't make any ethical sense to me. And she was like, fucking just like taken back that like, ugh, someone stood up to her, fucking, ugh, like she was not having that. So I went over to my locker, and they made you bring your own locks to lock your locker. And I unlocked my locker, got my purse, got all my shit, and she's like, is that your lock? Like, as if I'm stealing it, like, trying to just be a little bitch just because she fucking wants to be. And I'm like, yes, this is my lock, but do you fucking want it? Like, why would I steal a goddamn lock, of all things? Like, what the fuck? And then she's like, I have to escort you out. And she was like proudly walking me out. I knew my way around better than she did because it wasn't her store, and I just beelined it straight to the door. I called my mom because I don't drive, so my mom picked me up from work, and she's like, where are you? Like freaking out, like thinking that I just like left work, didn't tell her about it, was out with my friends or whatever. I was like, they fired me. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah, this fucking cunt behind me kept me in there for a few hours. And that was petty of me. That was really unprofessional. That was rude of me. But like, I was just livid, and I was depressed for weeks afterwards. And that's not supposed to sound like dramatic. Like, that's true. That was my career, people that I loved, and it hurts when people who you trust betray you, and when your passion is fucked with, and when you're so good at something and it's just ripped away from you, and when you're already in a position where you're not the best financially, and you get fucked over, and now you can't fucking do anything about it, like that fucking sucks. And, I just had all these emotions. I was fucking livid, and I'm still really upset. Like I said earlier, I'm not attached to that job. Like, I'm happy with my job, I'm happy in my life, but I was just pissed about that particular event that happened. Then, after the fact, this is where the this happening on a Friday comes in, they said, you'll get your last paycheck on Tuesday, which they are legally required to pay you within 24 hours of termination. When you quit, it's a little different, but with termination, they have to pay you within 24 hours by law. And they're gonna accuse me of all this unlawful bullshit, and they won't even fucking follow the goddamn law, bitch. Not to sound a little salty. I was like, I was like, whatever, not gonna fight them about it. I've been in here for too long, whatever. So, technically they should have paid me on Saturday. They didn't. But I was like, it's a weekend, whatever. I'll let that slide. A lot of payroll places aren't open. You can't always get a check on weekends, whatever. But Monday comes, no paycheck. They should have paid me on Monday at the very, 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 very latest. They didn't. Tuesday comes around, still didn't pay me. Wednesday I called, had to talk to my manager, and I was like, it's Quinn, where's my paycheck? And she's like, let me find out for you, whatever. She goes and she's like, so you're not gonna get paid till the rest of us get paid. And I'm like, that's fucking dumb. Like, I was like, that's illegal, but it's fine. And I just hung up because I was not in the mood to talk to this bitch who fired me for no reason. And another side note, in Utah, it's an at-will state. They can fire you for virtually anything. You can quit for virtually any reason. So I can't sue them for wrongful termination or anything like that. It's not worth it to me anyways, even if I could. I just want to move on from that. But anyways. So they paid me late. When I did get paid, I only got paid about $200. And that is like, I did work part-time, $9.75 an hour. And I should have got paid about $500, maybe almost close to $600. I don't remember exactly how much I should have got paid, but they gypped me of hundreds of dollars. They stole from me that they damn well owe me. And I was pissed. And again, I didn't fucking do anything about it because it didn't matter that much to me. And I mean, it should have, because I was not in the best financial place at that time, but I was just over it. I wanted to let that go. Now, I still am really salty about it. I still do not, I still can't believe that actually happened. I still feel very betrayed. I'm still so frustrated that I didn't have a voice in that situation. I couldn't control it. It was out of my control, and they didn't care what I had to say. They already had their minds made up, and I still didn't. I never did it. Never stole. It's probably still an ongoing problem. It probably fucking is, but it's not me. But what I think is that they had that plan from the beginning. I know that's a little weird to say, but I really do think so. Because why would they hire someone who has no retail experience? And they did it to another girl too, who had no retail experience either, and they hired her over someone who had a lot of retail experience in the beauty industry. And me and her are really close friends. She was actually closing with me on that shift, and she got fired the same day I did. I hope she doesn't mind me saying that, but we both got fired at the same time. They made us work together all the time, and we were just as new, so we weren't really learning a lot. They made us work together all the time for two people being really brand new and not having a ton of training. And they were saying, oh, we need to hire for seasonal and whatever, and this was in September, and usually when people hire for seasonal, it's not until November, and they were already hiring for seasonal the day that they were firing us. So they had that plan. They had applications everywhere. I don't know why they were they hired either of us, to be frank. I do think we did a wonderful job. She was so good at her job. I was great at my job. We could get people to sign up for JCPenney credit cards. We could make sales so easy. We could do makeup well on people. We were friendly. Like, we could make events. Like, we could make a lot of money in events and selling that brand that they're advertising that day. We were really, really good at our jobs. I don't know why this happened. I don't know why these people targeted me for that. It really is insulting. I feel bad for my other coworker as well, because she's a sweetheart. She didn't deserve that. Yeah, it was something that I am still fucking pissed about. I think that was totally wrong, and this thing happens to a lot of people. If you search up videos similar to this on YouTube, a lot of people will have a very similar story to mine. And it seems to only happen in the JCPenney Sephoras, if I'm remembering correctly, but this happens a lot. People get accused falsely of things that they didn't do and they get fired. And it really bothers me. And I can't, like, I don't know, it makes me so upset. But anyways, I was probably a mess. I went back and forth a billion times with a bunch of shit in this video. Like, I probably told it a little bit out of order because it was so long ago, but like also I'm really frazzled because it just makes me mad to talk about. But anyways, this is a much anticipated why I got fired from Sephora, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed me getting a little salty and screaming a little bit. And that's all I gotta say. Anyways,